Hi, it's Julian from Emango, and I'm super excited to announce a brand new series of videos called Deep Dives. Today I'm joined by my coworker Kieren Park as we dive into a hot off the press connector called SalesForce. Kieren, take it away.
It's a deep dive into Emango.
Alrighty, new enrollment form. So time to create a new SalesForce contact. It was Mary Jones. Jeez, I wish there was an easier way to do this. Hey, you've scanned these? Hello all and welcome. My name is Kieren and I'm the Connectivity Solutions Developer at Emango. And speaking of connectivity, today we're going to be talking about a brand new addition to Emango's fleet of export connectors, which is our SalesForce connector. So if you're a Salesforce integrator, maybe you're a Salesforce end user, and your workflow looked a little something like what that poor site at the start was dealing with, then this is the video for you. Alrighty, so we're going to kick things off inside Emango, and we're going to be creating a new job for our demonstration today. So I'm calling this Salesforce demo. We're going to add this job to the document drop, which is going to make our life a little bit easier down the track. Now, if I head over to our Zones tab, you'll see that I already have a sample document here set up. This is the same employee benefits enrollment form that our friend at the start was having to deal with. And you could see how tiring it was for him having to manually enter in that employee name, the street address, the city, the phone number, the email address. All right, the list goes on. Let's get Emango to do all the heavy lifting for us. Okay, so I'm going to click on Enable AI Fields up here. And if you haven't seen our tech tidbit video number 12, Julian goes into a little bit more detail on how this artificial intelligence capture works. So I would recommend going back and having a little peek at that. However, essentially what's happening is that when I click Enable, Emango is going to scan our sample document and it's going to pull out all the data that it thinks might be relevant to us. Okay, so if we give it a second, you'll see just how effective this is. And there we have it. We've got our employee name as a zone. We have our street address, our city, our phone number, the email address, all those pieces of data that we're interested in, okay? So now we're ready to get set up with our Salesforce connector. All right, so we now have a job that is somewhat configured. We have a sample document set up and we're pulling out all the relevant data that we require, but we're not doing anything with it just yet. So we're gonna head over to our Destinations tab. We're gonna find our Salesforce connector from the extensive list of connectors. Might have to search for that one. There we go, there's our Salesforce connector. We are presented with our connectors configuration screen. Now I'm just going to head over to file type options and make sure that the file we're outputting is of the type PDF. Nice and friendly. Now our Salesforce connector does not yet know who we are, so we should probably tell it. I'm going to enter in my Salesforce email address. All right, we're just going to test the connection and make sure everything's ready to, oh, okay, that's not good news. So if this is your first time using the Salesforce connector, you need to make sure that you're authenticated. Emango can help us with that. So we're going to send ourselves an email. All right, which is going to contain a list of instructions on how to authenticate with Salesforce. Now I could add any number of email addresses in here if I wanted to. And Emango is going to send an email to those two just there. So I'm going to send that off. All right, I'm going to do some magic and we'll be back once we're authenticated. Now let's test our connection. And as you can see, we're all authenticated. So now that Emango is talking to Salesforce, let's head over to our library tab. Now within Salesforce, documents are placed into what we call the content workspace. Now we can divvy up that workspace into what we call libraries or folders. So I'm going to place my uploaded document into the Emango library. Okay. We're going to head over to our document tab. I want to name this file after the employee's name. Okay. Now we have access to that piece of data because we ran some AI over our sample document, which pulled out all the relevant data for us. And I remember one of those fields was employee name. So I'm going to double click on this merge field, identified by the blue dotted outline. I'm going to search for that employee name. There it is. So now this is where the magic happens. Okay. Now, previously I said I want to create a contact given the data from that sample document. So what we can do is we can head over to our record tab. We're going to create or update a record. And we're going to let Umango decide whether or not to create or update the record, okay? There's a few different options in here. We're not going to go through each one today. There will be a separate video which really pulls the guts out of this Salesforce connector and lets you know everything that you can work with in here, okay? So we're wanting to create a contact. So I'm going to select my record type, contact. And I've pre-populated some values in here just to speed the process up a little bit, okay? I've got the last name keyed in, I've got the first name, I've got the email address, and you can see that when I click on this field, I have all those different properties which are relevant to a contact in Salesforce. So what other information did we have access to? I believe we had the city. Okay, so if we type in city, we've got our AI field there. Let's add that. What else did we have? We had our street address too. There it is. We had a state. Lovely. I believe we had a zip code. Look at that. We also had there was another field on there, the SSN number, which is something that I had to customize in my own Salesforce instance. So I now have this custom field available to me, which is called SSN number. And if you're a veteran Salesforce user, you might be aware that you can create your own custom record types, and you can create any sort of custom field on those records too. Umango can talk to Salesforce and pick up all those different customizable objects that you might have available to you in your instance. Okay, so our job is now set up. We have all the relevant properties from that record, which we are attaching data to from our sample document. So let's save this off, save the job. We're going to head over to our document drop, and we're just going to pop one of these employee benefits forms into here. Okay, Lisa Brown. Now, Umango is going to do its thing. It's running that AI scan over the document again to pull out all the data that we require. I've also set up an extra 2 zones in here, and I'll show you why. Salesforce contacts expect a last name. It is a required field. So I want to make sure that the last name is actually correct here. So we're just going to go through here, validate these zones. All right, our last name is Brown. Export and close. We're going to jump over to Salesforce and have a look at our new contact and the document which has been linked to the contact. So for the sake of demonstration, we have our Salesforce Classic view. We also have our Salesforce Lightning view. Okay, now I've got no new contacts this week until I hit refresh, and you can see, look at that, Lisa Brown. And we have all that data that we were pulling off our sample document. We've got the name. We have the mobile number, we have the email address, we have the mailing address, all right, which was split up into street address, zip code, state, all those different things. So we can see there, our new contact has been created, and we can also see that attached to this contact, we have our document, which we have named Lisa Brown. There it is. It's a beautiful thing.
Thanks, Kieren. What an awesome deep dive into the possibilities with Umango and Salesforce. I hope you enjoyed today's deep dive, and keep an eye out for more in the future. See you soon.